What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here to talk about the Ultimate Fighter. Now I know that nobody gives a flying, soaring through the sky fuck about the Ultimate Fighter, but I do, and I feel like there's something to this, I really do. But not the way the UFC is currently doing it. So I want to rant about this just a little bit and give my ideas on how the UFC can fix this model and use the Ultimate Fighter, because at its peak, this is one of the most entertaining shows you can watch. I mean, there's drunk people, there's fights, and I mean literal fights, like people getting slept out cold and shit like that. This should be the most entertaining thing that there is, but instead it's like, what's up, fight fans? We got DC and Chael having an oiled up twerk. Like, bro, the coaches' challenges are fucking ridiculous. That's number one. The coaches, I love DC, I love Chael. There's nothing I love more than hitting a fucking Armin Sarkarian. He's a great fighter, he really is. But I don't know if he beats Jack Della Magdalena. I really don't. I don't know that. And I think Colby can beat him. Right? I love Chael Sonnen and DC. They should not be the fucking main stars of a TV show in 2025. Another thing that pisses me off about TUF, why is this still on TV? It's not 1967 anymore, bruh. Nobody is watching TV. Nobody is on ESPN Plus, brother. I'm here to tell you right now. You have a better chance of putting this show on Stream East and getting viewers than putting it on fucking ESPN Plus. No one is willing to pay for a fucking UFC pay-per-view, let alone a UFC TV show of DC and Chael coaching up a bunch of jobbers, dude. And another thing about this show that the UFC seems to not understand, we do not give a fuck about any of these fighters, bruh. We do not care how entertaining the fights are. We don't care because it's behind a paywall, it's on a TV show. It does nothing. Like, the viewership is declining every single year. They're putting together coaches that aren't even fighting each other, or they're putting WMMA fights on there as the main event or whatever. It's really fucking simple, in my opinion. This is what the UFC should do. Number one, keep TUF. Because I know that the best fighters now come from Contender Series, but at least with TUF, you can get some drama. You can get some entertainment. Throw fucking Dylan Dennis on there, dude. Imagine they put Death Sentence in a TUF house, dude. You're watching that. I'm watching that, right? That's number one. Keep TUF, but don't make it about, oh my god, these fighters are so good. Fuck it, dude. Just get entertaining people. Number two, put this shit on YouTube, bruh. It is 2025. Here's a fact, dude. No one watches TV. That's a fact, number one. Number two, the ESPN YouTube is getting fucking view-mogged weekly by me, by Lucas Tracy, by MMA Guru, by multiple other fucking YouTubers. We are literally view-mogging ESPN every fucking week on a very regular basis. So you know what would boost ESPN's YouTube? Put some live, free fights on there with UFC guys headlining as coaches that are gonna fight in 2 or 3 months. You can build up the pay-per-view. You can build up these fighters that you're putting on TUF that, again, I promise you, you could literally put fucking Prime Fedor on ESPN Plus. I'm not paying to watch that shit. That's just a fact of life. That's how life is for people on the internet. So I think that the UFC should be focused on matchups where there's gonna be beef, or there's going to be big names involved. Like, I remember when Conor came back to TUF, I was hyped to watch that shit. Again, I still didn't pay to watch it. That's just a fact, right? Put it on YouTube. I'm there every week. I'm watching that shit. I'm canceling fucking appointments. I'm dipping out on you know, meeting the huzz up and shit. I don't care. I'm there if it's free on YouTube. People love street beefs. People love fucking backyard fighting. That is proof that the human brain will watch any sort of entertainment if it is free on YouTube, involving some people getting knocked out cold. Like, that's really all a man needs in life. So if I'm the UFC, I'm looking for some matchups that aren't DC versus Chael. No one wants to see fucking Shevchenko and Whaley coaching TUF. These are the matchups that I think the UFC should use to bring back TUF on a live YouTube series every single week. Actual matchups that we want to see later down the line, that all of these could be made right now and people would get excited about it. You put a couple months build up behind it on TUF with some knockouts, some submissions every single week. Again, on the ESPN YouTube, that could really use some actual fucking engagement. Because they're dropping these interviews with like Marab and Taylor Harrison and shit. It's getting like 16K views, dude. The UFC YouTube channel on ESPN needs some fucking help. Add TUF to that. I promise you will get views. These are the fights I would do in every single weight class that I think could headline TUF, dude, all right? First one to talk about is the flyweight division. Now, you know the UFC. They love putting together flyweight main events. They love putting together women's main events and throwing them on TUF. As if anybody watches TUF but doesn't know that these fights are gonna be, you know what I mean? That's what pisses me off about the UFC, bro. They throw I don't know who they think watches TUF that doesn't know that no one gives a fuck about WMMA, but they throw Grasso and Shevchenko on there like, listen, kid, the ESPN numbers are doing crazy. Dude, these kids are going to be superstars by the end of the season. It doesn't make any sense to me. So one fight that I think would get views on flyweight, Kai Kara France, Manel Kape, lock them in a fucking gym together, have them coach some people. Boom. Printing money as we fucking speak. I'm a genius. Am I not? Imagine, first of all, you got a lot of storylines here. Number one, if Kai Kara France manages to become champion, this is a big deal. This is great promotion because, let's be honest, is anybody out there saying Kai Kara France is my favorite flyweight in the world? Not really that many people. I could think of maybe one in my entire life that I've ever met. Okay, dude? Kai Kara France is going to need all the help he can get in this division, and I think that Manel Kape has the trash talk. He has the fighting style. He has the highlight reel. The beef between these guys, the way that Manel Kape most definitely will commit a felony at some point during this TV show, especially if they're locked in the same fucking gym every week, dude. You throw these guys in the same hotel or, you know, they're staying nearby each other near the TUF house. There will be fights. There will be water bottles thrown. There will be slurs being said. This is going to be fucking must-watch TV, dude. I don't care what fighters they put in there. I would love to see these guys coach some heavyweights. I think that would be funny. Seeing these two being like, oh yeah, bro, you got to get on the treadmill, you know? You got to get on the treadmill, do some cardio. The heavyweights just fucking tap out. You know what I mean? I think that would be entertaining to see some actual skilled fighters in these flyweights try and teach some heavyweight blobs how to win their season of TUF. But I think this would be a sick fight. I think you could do this regardless of if Kai Kara France wins or loses against Pantoja. Probably going to lose that fight, but I got a weird feeling he might win that one. I could see that happening. I don't know. I'm going to fence sit that one as well. And Kai Kara France was already on TUF, so that's a storyline you could add in as well at ESPN. This is what I would do. I would do Manel Kape versus Kai Kara France. I feel like that's infinite entertainment. I feel like the fight itself would also be very good. And this is a good way to build up a fight night, dude. This doesn't even have to go on pay-per-view. I'm sure it will and probably should go on pay-per-view, but you could even do a fight night in New Zealand, headline it with this. Boom, you got a whole TUF season promoting that shit. Boom. Done. All right, man. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Bantamweight division. And I feel like there's very obvious choices of like Merab versus Umna. I don't know if the UFC can buy enough like film to record Merab trying to coach some people like, hey guys, listen, guys, I know that you break your arm, bro, but listen, bro, listen, bro. One quick thing, guys. Hey, don't put him in ambulance. I'm still talking, guys. I don't know if we have enough film in the fucking UFC inventory to get a whole season of Merab yapping to his students. I think he would be very entertaining, him and Umar going back and forth, like Umar just rage baiting him with his little monkey smile. That would be very entertaining, dude. But I'm going to be realistic. I'm not even going to throw together a championship matchup on TUF because I know the UFC would be too fucking stingy to throw an actual UFC champion on TUF unless it's flyweight, which no one gives a fuck about, right? Like, they had Mighty Mouse on there. Listen, kid, you're going to fight one of these jobbers at the end of the season, right? I don't think they're doing that to Merab. I don't think they're throwing bro on TUF unless maybe Sean O'Malley wants to do it. But then again, I don't think that would happen either. So the matchup that I would do at Bantamweight is Henry Cejudo versus Chito Vera. Two old heads that casuals kind of fuck with. Like, people know these guys. I would say most casual MMA fans that keep up with the sport, they know Chito. They've probably seen him before. They know Henry Cejudo. I think these two would definitely develop some weird sort of salty beef as well. Like, that would be very entertaining to watch. And I think that we would get some fucking gold out of this, dude. Like what? First of all, I feel like this could have one of those moments. You know, you guys know that season where it was like BJ Penn versus fucking Gray Maynard, and they were like, who wants to be on BJ Penn's team? And everyone put their hand up. I genuinely think people would go out of their way to avoid being on Chito's team. Like, what is Chito actually gonna fucking teach you, dude? What is Chito actually gonna fucking teach you how to do in the UFC? Bro's gonna be teaching calf kick classes, dude. Here's how you fluke somebody with a fucking calf kick behind the perennial nerve, dude. Here's how you get stalled out for 20 minutes, dude. But yeah, I think we would get some gold mines with that. I think the beef between these two would definitely develop. I think this would be a good matchup as well for both of these guys. Both of these guys are kind of coming off some losses. They're both big names. Their other options are to fight fucking Eamon Zahabo and like Mario Batista and fucking Kyler Phillips. So I think they would rather fight each other and try and Mickey Mouse their way back up into the top 5. That's another reason I would do this. And I also feel like you know what we would get on this show. We would get Henry Cejudo sitting down his team. Listen, guys. Listen, dude. Listen up, guys. Guys at the back. Listen up. Listen, guys. Your opponent's gonna wear gloves, dude. Dude, he's gonna freaking kick you, dude. Straight up, man. Listen, dude. Dude, I really feel like, dude, we're getting rid of people off our team, man. That means you, dude. You know what I mean? Like, Cejudo's gonna have so many cringy fucking moments. I think this is the best way to kind of capitalize on the name value that Cejudo and Cheeto kind of have before they definitely fall off and lose to fucking Mario Batista and Eamon Zahabi, like I said. So I would do Cheeto versus Cejudo as coaches on TUF. Maybe an underrated choice, but I feel like that makes sense realistic-wise. Like, what names can you get on TUF? You're not going to get Sean O'Malley and Umar to coach against each other, right? Where people are talking about Khabib versus Tony. Come on, dude. Not the best. What's the question? Yeah, best we can do is Cheeto and Cejudo, kid. And they're going to play fucking ice hockey as the challenge, all right? That's what I would do with Bantamweight, all right? Now, Featherweight division. You know exactly what I'm cooking up, dude. And this is getting closer and closer to being a reality because the UFC is talking about moving UFC Noche back to America. Frankly, I love to hear it. What a great thing to hear. We should move every pay-per-view back to the United States. But I think that means one thing. Yair Rodriguez, brother. You're not getting a title shot, buddy. Your time, it's over before it even started. This fucking bum can finally fight who he's supposed to be fighting, which is Diego Lopez, and I think this would be an amazing fucking TUF season, dude. Imagine the racial fucking tension, dude. Imagine the beefs that would unfold on this show. Imagine you lock Diego Lopez, Yair Rodriguez. You have Alexa Grasso and Diego Lopez's team. I'm pretty sure they both, I don't know, I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure that happened. Dude, these guys coaching TUF against each other. Just the amount of fucking Yair Rodriguez rage bait that would be unleashed, dude. I can see it now. Kulan? Like, bro, we need the translator guys there as well to keep being like, we need that guy to be instigating like fucking RDC World, dude. So I want a full season of Yair and Diego Lopez beefing against each other. I don't care what the theme is. Maybe it's a Brazil and Mexico theme. Maybe we do, like, because they did have the Ultimate Fighter Mexico. They did have Ultimate Fighter Brazil. So this is definitely doable. Maybe that's a good way to kind of downscale this show since genuinely no one gives a fuck. I promise you no one is watching DC and RC or DC and Chael Coach TUF, you know. I'd rather watch fucking DC and RC, honestly. But yeah, dude, I promise you nobody's watching that season. This, though, we will be there. Lopez and Yair fighting each other, coaching against each other on TUF. The timeline makes sense as well. This easily could have been done. This could have been postponed a little bit and set up for this to be the coaching. I think that's a great idea. Winner of this gets a title shot type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many layers to this, bro. And instead, the next season's going to be fucking... I don't even know, bro. I feel like it's either going to get canceled or the next season's going to be fucking... Like we got DC and Chael. What's next? It's gonna be Laura Sanko and fucking John Anik coaching. What the fuck, dude? Lopez and Yair would be badass, all right, dude? Now that you may think is unrealistic. Let me show you something really, really, really unrealistic. But genuinely, I think this would be the biggest thing in UFC. I actually think that this next season at lightweight, excuse me, I'm very sick. This next season at lightweight, genuinely, I think could get mainstream attention. I think this genuinely would be the biggest thing in the sport for a really long time. Ilya and Paddy Pimblett coaching on TUF. Come on, man. Come on, dude. This is getting a million views, bro. I'm telling you, dude. UFC, write this down right now. Live on YouTube and free every week. Ilya Taporia, Paddy Pimblett coaching against each other on TUF. World Cup theme. We're going back to prime bedtime. I made a video like this genuinely almost 3 years ago. It has less than 1,000 views. I was saying back then Ilya and Paddy would be huge on TUF, and now it's genuinely the biggest thing you can do. Ilya and Paddy coaching against each other on TUF. The coaches challenge could be them playing football against each other. I think that would be really funny. And I feel like, you know, this fight at International Fight Week next year for the lightweight title. We have a whole TUF season building up to it on YouTube. Everybody's talking about it every single week. They're beefing with each other. Paddy Pimblett's on there. Mate, shut your fucking mouth, El Chorizo. I'm gonna fucking batter you, lads. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, lads? I'm gonna fucking teabag you, El Chorizo. Dude, this would just be something fucking else, dude. And it pisses him. I'm getting mad at how good this idea is, because this is foolproof, first and foremost. This is genuinely the best idea the UFC could have all year. But they will not even do this. They won't even come close to this. It'll, like I said, it'll genuinely be either cancelled or just two complete jobbers coaching TUF that nobody is interested in. They're going to try and be like, dude, we got undefeated fighters on the season. We don't care. We want beef. We want Ilya and Paddy playing fucking football against each other as the coaches challenge. We want these guys beefing back and forth every week. We want Paddy Pimblett teabagging Ilya's team when they lose, dude. Think about how many legendary moments could happen on this season, man. Ilya and Paddy coaching TUF. This would genuinely save the UFC. I genuinely believe that. This would go mainstream. All right, man. Couple more left to talk about. Let's talk about the welterweight division. Now, I did immediately, while making this video, realize there was a better matchup you could do, but I'm thinking about entertainment, right? I'm thinking at the end of the day, this is a reality TV show, and it's not necessarily about, like I'm trying to tell Dana, like I'm trying to tell whoever's running TUF right now. It is not about how much you think we like these coaches, dude. It doesn't matter how, credentialed they are. Oh yeah, Chael's a really good coach. Chael's really funny. I like Chael. There's no beef, dude, right? There's no friction. There's nothing that I want to watch and be like, oh man, I can't look away from this, right? The thing about the best TUF seasons, there's beef. There's someone that's a fucking idiot, like Koscheck, or, I don't even know, TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt, right? You know what I mean? Conor and Faber. There's got to be some personality. I think Bilal and Ian Gary would be so unlikable that people would tune in to watch these two just because they hate them. I think people would hate watch this season. And I do think that maybe a better choice would be Bilal versus Usman. I just don't know if that matchup's actually going to happen at any point. But I do think Gary versus Bilal is a possibility for their next two fights. So I would say Ian Gary on TUF. We're going to get so much material, dude. We're going to get Bilal Muhammad in his face. Bro, what are you talking about, bro? It's not even your kid, bro. Like, literally, bro, what are you talking about, bro? Bro, you're a bum. Bro, your hairline's literally further back than mine, bro. Like, literally, what are you talking about, bro? Like, Ian Gary, just imagine a whole season of Ian Gary. Mate, sit down, shut up. My lawyer's gonna be visiting the fucking house right now. Ian Gary walks into the TUF house. Hey, Ian, we made dinner. Would you like to join us? What's this? Where's the fucking leek stew? Fuck this, you're a fucking criminal, you're eating meat. Like, dude, Ian Gary on TUF, it's must-watch TV. You want to see him lose the challenge and crash out like a fucking iPad baby. You want to see Bilal Muhammad just completely tear him a new one. You want to see if one of the fighters will fucking arc up to him, dude. You know what I mean? There's so many layers to this. I think that Bilal versus Ian Gary, this would be a great hate watch for a lot of people. That's my kind of logic behind this one. And I think that, both of these guys, they're into the social media game. I think Gary and Buckley would also be pretty entertaining on TUF. There's a lot of options you could have at welterweight. I'm going with Bilal versus Gary, but again, Buckley and Gary would be entertaining. Bilal and Usman would be entertaining. I guess it kind of depends on UFC Atlanta, but yeah, I think there's something to that. I really do. All right. Next one to talk about is the middleweight division, and it's kind of slim pickings at middleweight, dude. Like, obviously, the dream TUF season was either Dricus and Izzy, because I know Izzy just would have lost it. Imagine that press conference, but over 6 weeks. Bro, I don't know why you're so upset, bro. Bro, you're literally, bro, you think you're, bro. I'm the real African. I'm the black king of the UFC. Like, dude, Dricus would have absolutely ruined Adesanya's life if they went on TUF. I think Dricus and anybody on TUF would be entertaining. But again, is the UFC going to shell out the money to have Dricus du Plessis not training for 6 weeks at the TUF house in Las Vegas, coaching these fucking jobbers? You know what I mean? I just don't know if that's real. Like, and who are they going to get? Hamzat? They're not going to get Hamzat in the fucking house for 8 weeks, bro. So when I'm thinking about who is like a big name at middleweight, who's got beef, what would be entertaining, who would agree to it, I think Strickland and Izzy is the move, dude. There's only one way to get people to care about this fucking rematch that they're definitely going to do, by the way. Like, the UFC 110% is going to do this fight next. because it's like the only somewhat winnable matchup for Izzy in the top 5 besides Whitaker that they can make, right? Same with Strickland, in my opinion. Maybe he beats Kyle Baralho, to be fair, or Whitaker. But I think that Strickland and Izzy is pretty likely to happen next, just based on the UFC being fucking casuals right now, just booking like... I swear the UFC booking right now is like someone that started watching in 2025. Like, it's actually crazy what they're doing. I don't know if they're getting fans in there again or what, but yeah, dude, Strickland, Izzy, I feel like it's likely. That's number 1. Number 2, most fans don't really care about this fight if they're not a complete casual. So the best way to get people invested in this is to have us see 6 weeks of beef between these two. Strickland lives in Las Vegas. It's not going to be that hard to set up. Izzy's always traveling around. He loves the attention. I think he would agree to this as well. And I think it would be kind of cool to see Strickland coaching some people. I think that would humanize him a bit. Izzy, same thing. And obviously, here's the fucking thing about Izzy, you guys. Here's the thing about the fucking Chinaman, you guys. Just making Izzy crash out every week. I think this is going to be an entertaining season. I know it's not, as good as it would have been back in 2023, but I definitely think this is a play the UFC could pull to get views on TUF, number 1. To get hype behind this fight that most people are kind of like, we don't really want to see that. And also maybe to make these two a little bit more likable to the fan base, especially Strickland, because right now everyone fucking hates him. Rightfully so, because the Drickus fight was fucking terrible. I think that's a low-key smart, crafty fucking play by the UFC. That's a Hunter Campbell level play right there, dude. Okay? Now, next one to talk about is the light heavyweight division, and you may be saying, Bedtime, there's no fucking way you can get me to watch anyone in this top 5 coach against each other. There's no beef. We're not getting Big Ank on TV. I understand, dude. I don't really think there's any beef you can put on TUF from the light heavyweight division that people care about. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to put fucking Carlos Olberg on TUF? No, dude. My theory with this is we're going to have to go weird. We're going to have to make it a little bit, like, unusual. And I think we're going to have to avoid the beef. We're going to have to go the opposite direction. I think Yuri and Khalil just being themselves on TUF would be entertaining enough to kind of counteract the lack of beef. I think these two aura farming, doing weird training shit. Yuri's bringing all the tough jobbers out. And now I want you guys to jump in the pool. And whoever come up last, you can fight. Let's go for that. Let's go. They're all punching trees and shit. Yuri's fucking... guys, you did good tonight training, so let's go to my hotel room to celebrate, and we're gonna get crazy tonight. Let's go. All these jobbers just forced to go with Yuri's bullshit. Same with Khalil, bro. Probably gonna have like a fucking therapy circle with the boys. I think these two, not only would this be super entertaining based on how weird these guys are, I think it would be wholesome. I think people would fuck with it. I think that these two being booked to fight each other would be hype enough. But adding a TUF season, kind of building up and remembering every time, like, damn, these guys are actually going to fight at the end. God damn. I think that would be cool. So I know that there's not that much beef, but I feel like Yuri is entertaining enough alone to carry a TUF season. Khalil has a lot of casual fans. These guys would be very wholesome to watch. I think it would be a nice season to watch. And I think that the fight could carry the promotion of like, don't worry, guys. At the end, these two are going to absolutely brutalize each other. Yuri definitely wins this, by the way, but it would be entertaining. It would be a good main event. All right, man? Now, I don't have one for the heavyweight division, bro. John Jones won't even agree to fight Tom Aspinall, let alone go on fucking TUF with him. No one wants to see, I don't even know, Volkov, Gane on TUF. I think you should just get Tom Aspinall to coach 2 teams of women, bro. I think you get a WMMA season, Tom Aspinall trying to coach 2 of them at the same... The hardest part about being a bloody woman, you just get your bloody period at the worst time, By the way, have you ever been fingered by an MMA fighter? I think Tom Aspinall interacting with like 20 women at once would be very entertaining. Other than that, the heavyweight division, there's fucking nothing, dude. Maybe get Shamil and Tai Tuivasa to coach. Maybe that would be something, Shamil. Good training session. Good. Good punching. Okay. Let's eat, guys. Let's go. Maybe that's the move, but these are the matchups that I think the UFC should be making to headline TUF. I think the UFC should change it from a traditional TV format on ESPN, because again, just need to say, and in case anybody's unclear what I'm saying, no one gives a fuck about TUF. No one's watching it on ESPN. We're not watching it on ESPN Plus. Again, we barely want to fucking pay for a pay-per-view, let alone a TV show, a shitty reality show. So I think the UFC should be putting that on ESPN's MMA YouTube channel that needs the views. Make it live every week. Get some entertaining fighters. Get some big matchups to headline that shit. Again, imagine the Ilya and I can't get over that, dude. That would genuinely bring us back to the mainstream. But hey, this is my thoughts on TUF. This is my matchups that I would do to headline it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys drop a like if you're enjoying the videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We're almost at 80K, which is just crazy. And yeah, man, appreciate you guys. I'll try and keep the videos coming as much as I can. We're almost to UFC 316 fight week. We just got to get through this week. It's almost time, man. But yeah, appreciate you boys. See you in the next video, man. Goodbye.